great performances all round. We're looking for some more today as we head into our final day. As we said, we've got 12 teams left. They've all got a shot at a chance of getting into the major. 6 spots remain after Mouse and G2 secured theirs yesterday. And we'll review day number 3 with our panel members. Good morning, Yanko and Moses. How you doing?
You know, Paul, this is the day where all the teams get knocked out and everything like that. It's tough to sleep on days like these. Was up all night, really.
Worrying.
Just, yeah, you hate to see it.
Also, Swiss is terrible for analysts because you don't know the matchups in advance. We only get them in the end of the day. So good time of that sleepless night was spent preparing for these matchups and, you know, doing some research on what the potential maps would be and such. But honestly, most of it was just excitement.
You two have broken me first thing. I can't even believe you did that. I mean, day 3, let's just talk about it. We expected G2 to go through. Did you expect Mouse to be so efficient?
You know, they've just looked so good recently that like you knew this was going to be a possibility, and it came down to draws, really, right? Like if they had gotten some worse draws, obviously they might be going out 3-0. But that was just a good performance, and obviously Rops had a great game yesterday, and he's kind of one of those players that we've known and looked at and said, you know, if he's on for a day, he can win them map single-handedly. So quite nice for them to be able to just relax today, sit back, kick it up.
He's currently the highest-rated player on HLTV from this event as well.
Yeah, had a monster performance, and yesterday had particular impact because you have to remember Mousesports was down 0-9 in that game versus Penta. Looked like Penta was just going to run away with it and secure a spot at the major, but Rops just kept, you know, inch by inch pushing his team forward, ended up with something close to 40 kills, 35 or 36, I believe the number was. So just a great all-around performance from him. And for Mousesports as a whole, you know, knowing that team in the past and how they would lose games, you wouldn't expect them to have the mental fortitude to come back. So it just shows you how much they've evolved as a team.
Yeah, definitely moved on. Talking of moving on, let's talk about day 4. We've got 6 matches to start us off, but we will end up with 9 matches today, so it's a very long day. We don't know the last 3 because we've got to wait and figure out what the 6 do to start with. So we'll kick off like this. Penta versus Vega. That one will be it's a major place up for grabs, basically. The winner of that will go to the major, so we're definitely going to get one of our qualifying teams go to the major. Then we'll move on to the lower bracket round of round 4 with Tyloo versus Hellraisers, both having a nightmare right now, both fighting to stay in the competition. Then Dignitas versus Renegades, big game for both of those big teams. They've both been to the major before. Neither might get there, but definitely one of them won't be getting there because that's also a 1-2 game. Godsent versus Immortals, much the same thing. Immortals find themselves in all sorts of trouble again. And then Cloud9 versus Flipside will decide a place in the major, as well as Big versus Team Liquid as well. There's a good chance down there, Jason, for 2 North American teams to just get out of trouble today.
Listen, let's not get ahead of ourselves. let's see how the morning goes. When we get down to the later games, we can talk about that kind of situation. If we get there. Yeah, if we ever survive, if we last that long.
We survive.
Yeah.
I mean, in theory, those last 2 matches are quite spicy because they do make another major place, but the other teams know they've got another chance. So how do they approach a game like that? Because there's that mentality of, well, if we win, we're in the major, but then there's that also that, well, it doesn't matter if we lose because we've still got another chance. You don't really want to go into it like that, though,
no,
do
you can't. You basically have to just go into each match and just say, we just have to win this one. You treat every single game as if it's an elimination. You bring the same focus to every single one as if, you know, that was going to knock you out of the tournament. And you kind of have to prepare that way. Otherwise, that's when you start to see people like looking past where they are and like already saying, oh yeah, you know, you already feel like you're in the major because we just have this easy matchup, or we have 2 chances, and then all of a sudden you find yourself in the situation where you only have 1 chance left, and then you just kind of wonder how it slipped away.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Immortals are that kind of team, Yanko, aren't they? They've been here before.
Surely this time.
But they are they are 1 and 2 right now, though. That's the worry for them, isn't it?
This is a nightmare for them.
No mistakes now from them at all.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, another major qualifier, another difficult situation for Immortals, and we were sitting here saying how this is probably the qualifier which they are going to make it through, but now they face Godsent, which can be very uncomfortable to play against, right? Because you just fear that there is that one game for Godsend where like Twist is going to have 30 kills, you know, because it's bound to happen, or two players are going to have a monster individual performance. And Immortals, which are a team that's still not like super tactical, super strategic, even though they're trying to shift towards that style, they like to take fights. So when two teams like that clash, you know, the one which is more on point usually comes away with the game.
They're like the opposite of Flipside. Flipside's like always like so like good in the majors and not great outside of it. And then Immortals is like great outside of the majors, and then just no one knows what's happening.
Most of the teams get played to do in-game leading in Immortals.
They're average.
All right.
If it's not IEM Poland, that's where they're amazing, especially Henning.
Every year. Okay, we're going to move on to our first match of the day. It's Penta versus Vega Squadron, and this one's for all the marbles. The winner of this one does go to the major. They're both qualifying teams, one from the CIS region and one from the European region, so it's going to be a fantastic matchup. Before we get into this particular match, though, let's check in with Sonny from Penta, who's had a great tournament so far, on his expectations as they headed in.
My name is Mika Kempi, and in internet I'm known as Sonny. I'm 22 years old, man from Finland, and I play for Penta Sports. Before the minor, we all knew we had more than a week, I think 8 days boot camp to prepare for it, and we felt pretty confident that we will make it. The main goal obviously was to qualify for here, and we did it. And I don't know, the final, I think Big overall had like superior day, as they won I think every best of 3 2-0 without many teams that don't even reaching like double digits. So I think it was mainly because they had superior day and we just like kinda didn't awake for the game, and we played their playbook instead of ours. So that happens sometimes, but I'm just happy that we made it here. I'm feeling happy if I do good, but mostly it's all like about the team. Like one player can shine if the teammates are not like making it possible. So the thing in our team is that we have many players who can step up when it's needed. And I guess I just had like a few good games which outshined the others in the tournament. But I think that there is many players in our team who can do like MVP kind of performances, and I really like look up to Aegis, how he's doing here, because in practices he's been like really monster. But I'm not saying that someone have played bad or anything, but I think he's gonna perform really good. I decided to go international team last fall. I think Alex, former coach of us, reached me when I was still playing in ENS and asked me that if I'm interested about this kind of things, and I said maybe later but not now, because I'm always like loyal to the team which I play. But the main reason was that we actually at the beginning of 2016 I think we had on paper like the best Finnish lineup what we can get, which included me, Alu, Stonbex, Hard and Juha. But in the end things didn't work out, and I think the main reason why I wanted to like move on in my career was that at that point in time it felt that Finnish players, they didn't want to move on. So now, for example, I'm more happy than ever, because it feels that we have 5 players who want the same thing, want to move forward and want to win. It helps like me being myself, and it helps everyone on the team, because like if you don't know it's same that if you're going for a job, for example, you don't know anyone before. So of course you have to act like more professional, and you have to show your best sides. And if this becomes a habit, then it stays. It's like this normal thing, I guess. We didn't have bootcamp, but we basically fixed the mistakes what we learned from minor, and made some new specific things in maps. And obviously we didn't focus on all 7 maps, because here is best of 1 Swiss format, so we can ban at least 3, but I'm not gonna tell which maps we prepared. But we used the whole time to make us better from the mistakes what we did in the minor. I'm pretty confident about our map pool, because it's like most of the teams have, for example, 2 maps what they don't play. But we have really wide map pool, and we can only focus on our best maps. So I'm pretty confident in terms of that. And I still keep us like underdogs against higher teams, which are, for example, here you can't put us in same league, for example, with G2 or Immortals or anything yet. We are we are in different league, and before we prove that we're on the same stage. So we'll see what happens here, but I still keep us underdogs compared to them. I think it's mostly about like confidence, of course. Like and what I meant that we're not like on the same league yet is that, for example, G2 have major winners, and we are here in the major qualifier first time with this team. So it's realistic what I said, but it doesn't mean like that I don't believe that we couldn't win anyone. So obviously, like if we get in the major, we will have long boot camp again, and we will see like what we can learn from here. And we will like just prepare ourselves and try to make like find new ways how to like get the best things out of our players.
Currently ranked number 5 on the HLTV listings as far as this event's concerned. That was Sunny from Penta. They've had a good tournament so far, but it will be all in vain if they don't make their way through to the major. Let's discuss both them, and we'll move on to Vega Squadron fairly shortly as well with our panel members. Jason, it's been a good tournament for Penta. They've kind of brushed aside that whole underdog theory that we all had about them, and we now know they're the real deal. They're legit. They've got a couple of great players in Sunny and HS who've had good performances so far. This is a fantastic opportunity to make the major. Yeah,
it just seems like they've been skyrocketing ever since they kind of first started kind of showing that they can compete. I mean, even leading into this, you didn't really know that they would be this good. It was kind of, you know, it was the win at the Mountain Dew League. They looked pretty solid there. It was close matches over big. But here, ever since they've had that competition, it has been crazy how well they've played. I mean, that big lead over Mouse Sports was shocking, and the fact that it slipped away is really, really unfortunate. But so yeah, Sunny, HS, and now even you had Innocent playing phenomenal yesterday as well. There's like sneakily, there's all of a sudden a lot of firepower on this team, and especially if those guys continue to grow. That's the crazy thing about this team, is that they're young. So I mean, that's a scary prospect for the future. But yeah, they're on the verge here, and this is really nice to see. A lot of good work being put in.
They've come out of the blocks very fast in all of their games. That's one of their trademarks. They like to hit teams very hard, very early on. It's worked for them in the majority of the games. Obviously, Mouse Sports are a little bit more resistant to that, even though they went 9 down to start with. Similar aspect, do you think, today? Do you think nothing changes? They won't be put off by that?
There's no reason to change anything for Penta. I mean, that style has been working tremendously for them, and it was just because Mouse Sports played a great game after being down 9-0 that they couldn't close out that cobblestone game. So I think it's actually a good thing. I think that's a mistake that many teams make, is they try to like do things. Like, how do I put this in a good way? Like, they try to play Counter-Strike, for example, like SK does, or FaZe does, or Astralis does, which is the way you should play Counter-Strike. But if you're incapable of doing so in a tournament like this, especially where the only goal for you is to qualify, not like win the whole thing, right? You should stick to your strengths and you know, not try to overcomplicate things and try to do things which you can't really execute properly. So stick to your guns, and sometimes teams, even if you do the same thing over and over again, they will still struggle to adjust. So for Penta, that seems to be the name of the game. They're really good at that explosive play style, at using their individuals who are playing well in that particular game and setting them up, and that's been working great for them so far. So I wouldn't expect a different play style coming into this game.
Okay, Vega Squadron have had a very interesting run through this tournament, Jason. They've played 3 different teams from 3 different regions. Played Tyloo, first time they've ever played an Asian team, I was told yesterday as well. And they're on the bounce back because they've won that game, so they've come into this game with a bit of momentum, whereas Penta obviously losing to Mouse, narrowly of course, but they come in with a win at least.
Yeah, but I mean the tough part for Vega Squadron is it didn't look great against Tyloo. I mean, there were some really sketchy things. That was a bit of an ugly game. It was fun to watch, obviously, but they're definitely.
Yeah, I'm not sure it was.
I enjoyed it. I had a great time. I think I was on break, so I could properly enjoy it. But no, I mean, they got bailed out by some heroics of JR. I mean, wins a 1-on-4. You're not going to get that every day, and you're also not going to get an opponent that plays post plants that poorly the way Tyloo did as well. So going to be a little bit tougher for them today, but certainly again, I mean, you know, just coming into this, you're thinking this is just the team that beat NIP at the last qualifier. This is the one who had that massive upset. So you knew they could kind of snowball. Now we've seen them grind a couple out, but still, I mean, they don't. It doesn't feel like this is a team that's ready yet to kind of qualify for a major, if I'm honest.
Yeah, well, they're 2-1 right now, Janko. Interesting. I don't think we've really talked about their explosive play and their players' achievements so far much. You know, Penta stood out a lot with Sunny and HS in particular, and as Jason said, Innocence yesterday. Weirdly, when you look at the statistics overnight, I found 3 of the Vega Squadron players in the top 14 players. So they are doing their jobs. They are delivering the kills. JR being way out ahead, but Mir's had great tournaments so far. Hutchie's had moments of greatness, so they've got the firepower if they need it.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing. We all knew about Mir from the previous major qualifier, right? And he is like the star of the team or has the most impact. But now other players have been stepping up. JR, of course, that game yesterday on Inferno was the MVP for Vega, and the rest of the players are contributing. For example, against Optic, Keshander had a poor game, but then he stepped up against Tai Lu. So it does seem that everyone is able to at least pull their own weight and contribute in some way to the team.
Yeah. How have you measured them in the way that they've played and taken on 3 different teams from 3 different regions? Because it does take it out of you a little bit, doesn't it? Because everyone plays a slightly different way, and they've got to learn this.
Especially apparently Tai Lu. People just can't get a read on still. So whatever that's all about. But yeah, I mean it's been some good stuff. But like overall, they just don't seem to have like their own kind of game plan. Like Yeko said, a lot of different people stepping up, and that just kind of always feels to me like, you know, it's a little bit more individual based when you have different people having really big games. That frequently it's like you kind of always want to have Mir as like the guy stepping up. You always want to have like a system where he's going to be set up to get like the most kills and the most impact and the most frags. But regardless, I mean, it's a nice luxury to have, and in a tournament like this, it's pretty good as well. You know, against some of the lower tier opposition. But like I said, I don't feel great about this team. But they do have plenty of skill. Like many of these squads do. It's like not the lack of skill, it's the lack of everything else that goes into a team that they're kind of missing.
I mean, the difference I suppose with Penta is that you know, they're not trying to play like SK. They're not trying to play like Astralis. They're, to borrow a phrase from Natu, they're wolf packing everything into bomb sites. They're going together. They're doing the simple things really well.
Yeah, and that's great, like Yanko said, for this event. But you know, if you put this team, if they qualify for the major, all of a sudden, if you go into the major and you don't have any ability to play like a more spread out and like a map control style where you can actually, you know, be a little bit more strategic against the better teams, you're just going to struggle. You need to be able to have that aspect in your game plan. So I mean, it's just the same thing as Vega. Like everyone playing to your strengths, but it's very obvious some of these teams have those weaknesses that make them tough to upset some of the bigger competition we'll have.
The favourites in this game are Penta. They have to be after the results that we've seen, but how much of the favourites are they?
Well, that's tough to tell. The map will play part into that as well, but I'll give them maybe something like 65 to 35 advantage to Penta, because even in their wins, Vega wasn't impressive. But then again, Penta, besides the Optic game, pretty much where they lost the first pistol and still had a great first half, usually was just having an amazing start and running away with the game. And even when they had an amazing start against Mouse Sports, it wasn't enough. So I see a scenario where Vega does, you know, win the first pistol and denies Penta that good start, and maybe they struggle when they don't have a lot of room to work with, because, you know, if you're up 5-0, you have 10k in the bank, and you can, if you lose 2 gun rounds, you still have enough money to buy, and that's a luxury that you won't have very often, especially in best of ones.
Okay, we'll get more from both of you in just a moment, but I'm hearing that the coaches are with Pala, so we'll say good morning to Pala and then find out what the 2 coaches make of their game.
Morning to you as well, Paul, and the guys on the desk. Alex, Nasu, you are 1 game away from qualifying to the major. Whoever wins this will be one of the top 8 at this qualifier. What would it mean to you to win this match?
Well, that's what we came here for. Like, we basically fucked up yesterday ourselves, but we learned from our mistake, and I hope we can like play good today and not make too many mistakes.
I don't know, we've been like there in Atlanta, and now we just came for the spot. So like after winning the CS minor, we just stand up and said like that's not what we came for, and now it's time.
Nasu, is it frustrating to have come so close yesterday, losing to Mouse Sports 16-14?
Yeah, of course it is. I mean, we were up 9-0, we had the game, but we kind of crumbled, and we went over the game yesterday and corrected some mistakes and like for the future. So anyways, we only did 1 game. Doesn't matter if we won it yesterday or today.
And Alex, as a team that might have been seen as an underdog at the start of this tournament, so far, are you happy with how the guys have been performing?
Yeah, we're fine, but we're just playing like game by game, so it doesn't matter how we played our previous game. I mean, it might give us some confidence, but still, we got 1 more game to go. Let's see.
All right, guys, we can leave it at that. Please do shake each other's hands and head to your teams. Paul, back to you.
Yep, thanks very much, Paolo. Coach is ready, players almost ready, and Matt Veto also ready. So let's lead towards that as well. Janko, where are we going?
I think. Okay, I was gonna.
Well, we were going to go train anyway, and I will vouch for you. Yeah, I will.
You did say before that popped up that you thought it would be Mirage, so.
No, what a scumbag.
No, absolutely not.
Unreal.
No, and no.
It's going to be a good day today, boys.
There was no way they were going to let Mirage through there.
Yeah.
No way.
Never mind. Train is the map. Jason, please explain the veto process to us. How to counter this?
Speaking of scumbag. No, train's going to be interesting.
Really? Tell us more.
It's right in the middle, isn't it, for both of these teams, which you would expect at this stage. They're not going to let them
all
have
that
the
research that we did last night. It's just went out the window, hasn't it?
I'm trying to help you here, Jason.
I know. I don't know why he's doing this. He's really being cruel. No, this is I quite like train. This is. It's like especially when you have someone like JR, the Oppers having an impact, that's always a very big luxury to have. But when you look at the Penta side of things, just the playmakers that they're going to be able to work with, Sonny, HS, these guys, getting them into some of these fights, the fact that they've been winning so many duels and everything like that is going to help so much in these bomb sites when they try and take things over. It's going to be a big luxury that they have.
Yeah, it's their most played map in the last few months.
They beat Optic on it earlier. That was a bit dicey, though, 16-14.
Yeah. It's the most played map, but it's not their most successful map. It's their fourth most successful map. So
both teams beat Optic on this map, so let's not go too far into that. But I think both teams have some tells on their T side. For example, Penta likes to run that execute heavy play style. We saw that towards the B bomb site against Optic. On the other side of things, Vega, Mir does a lot of work from them, lurking from that Ivy position. Doesn't matter where the rest of the team goes, he's mostly around that area. Actually, funnily enough, when the heat maps were introduced on HLTV, I looked up him, and his heat map on the T side is Ivy and upper ramp on B. And that is it. Like, that's it. His kills are all like from around those two positions. So that's something that maybe you can use to your advantage.
I think the interesting thing as well is because they have both played Optic on the same map, and Vega followed them, it looked like they borrowed a few things from Penta as well, because why wouldn't they, right?
It's like Penta really highlighted like the weak leg of Optic's defense, right? And then Vega just took advantage of it. Vega just like kind of leaned on it a little bit more in the next game. So shout out to the assist there for them.
Yeah.
But I think Vega towards that inner bomb site, it'll be interesting to see how much they're going to get lured into a trap, because they saw Penta just go towards that inner bomb site and just beat it up for so long in that match. So I'm wondering if maybe they're going to lean there. But I think the one thing that you have to do if you're Vega is when those inner hit does come in, you have to be ready and you have to play it more aggressively than Optic did, because Optic spent the first portion of that half playing so far back, a very passive like retake style, getting locked out of the bomb site, not getting a kill before the plant went down, and they struggled so much to retake in that kind of a situation. And when they started playing aggressive towards the inner site, playing in front of the smokes, they were able to shut a couple of those inner hits down, and that's what kind of allowed them to get something going in the first half. So Vega's going to have to be a little bit more aggressive.
Okay, let's say good morning to our commentators who are in the commentary booth for our first three matches this morning. It is, of course, James and DDK. Good morning, gents.
Cheerio.
Morning.
Morning. Guys. Cheerio. What are you on about? This American's trying to do English stuff. He's
that was
a
Serbian.
Oh, was it?
That was a Serbian.
Okay, it sounded like you. I don't know how that
My
happened.
accent is so good these days.
It is. Obviously, it sounds like an American doing an English accent.
It's actually perfect. I'm full of energy today.
Yeah, are you looking forward to this? Because this is two exciting teams on the verge of qualification.
Yes, I think it's going to be a surprise who takes this map, at least for me. So I'm looking forward to it. I don't know what to expect, and that's I think a good way to go into a match you're about to commentate.
Absolutely. Take it away, gents.
Yeah, and it's going to be extra exciting just because I think this is the first time we'll have casted these teams in the qualifier here in the last few days. So that's nice for us.
Yeah, we haven't done Vega Squadron since they became the infamous Vega Squadron.
Yeah, that's true.
Wrecking an IP on cash.
Yeah, that was a very historical moment. And it'd be quite cool actually, because I could see a storyline where maybe there's a world where they don't make it, but every qualifier they just come back just to wreck people again in the qualifier and
gatekeep.
Exactly. So yeah, they have a good chance here against Penta Sports. I agree completely with the guys after what I've seen from Penta that they're definitely the favorites. And Penta, obviously, one of the things that we can note from them is that they're actually a side that maybe you would expect, oh, this team is going to be a bit more anchored around that individual skill, the individual plays, but they actually do have a lot of team play coordination, like a good understanding of what to do as a team, you know, when they have an advantage and so on and so forth. Like they're an actual unit. So this is, again, you know, why they've been so dangerous to the best teams at this qualifier. And listen, let's make no mistake here. This qualifier is pretty intense. The level here is actually quite ridiculous. So, and they've been doing very well here so far.
I'm going to go with Vega Squadron because it looks like their logo is a shark, and I love sharks. That's enough for me. Vega Squadron, the infamous Vega Squadron, starting on the CT side. The pistol is about to begin. Penta will be the aggressors. Sunny, Zen, Crystal, HS, and Innocent. We've seen him do things on train already. Will it continue? Will good things continue here? Sapphire will be your in-game observer for the beginning of the day. 5 Kevlars on the CT side. No defuse kits, probably won't be needed. Zen and Crystal with full grenades. Molotov in tow as well. Always suggests a B play to me.
Chopper's there though. He's very close to the slope, although he is walking back at the moment and going a bit more passive, which I think is a good decision, considering that as soon as those Glocks start rushing down, you're probably only going to get 1 kill from that range if you're lucky before you just get overwhelmed. So, you know, you can use those, or rather the advantage of those USPs much better in a more passive position. And here it is. You can see all these pot shots here by Chopper, unable to connect with anybody's head just yet. He will lose Mir straight away as well. So life is not good so far for the Vega Squadron, but they do have the back lines and they can wait for the coordinated attack here as everybody else comes into the train line.
Bomb has been planterized. Tees with the first kill, but their advantage won't last too long. Again, Vega Squadron now on the retake with no kit. They really need to get these kills quickly. 2 more to find. No more grenades for these Tees. Sunny's coming in from the back, but he won't have an angle to stop the defuse. But again, it is a 10-second defuse, so maybe he can make it. It's a gauntlet run for Sunny. Can he get around this corner? No. Hutchie holding it down. 10-second defuse comes in for Vega Squadron. A successful pistol round for them.
That is pretty darn nice. I mean, again, it just goes to show you that the CTs always have a chance if the Ts cannot block them from getting out of the choke points. You know, Connector is one of the bigger ones. You know, usually it gets really problematic when those Glocks start getting deep into the back lines there. But Vega Squadron, despite losing a man early, able to convert the round for the 1-0. Now this is really awesome actually. Penta have decided, even though they got the bomb down, to actually full buy and get the Tech 9 armor with full utility. I love this, you know, showing again, once again, that Penta, they're a team that has a plan. And they're not just going to do necessarily the basic stuff that you would expect, but they have rounds in mind to try to mix things up a bit and be a little bit more unorthodox. That's a great nade though, coming in from, I believe it was Chopper. That did a fair amount of damage. Imagine if they didn't have Kevlar.
The sound of the Tech 9 may give warning to Vega Squadron, who have backed off from B to the rear end of the train yard of 2 players waiting for this execute to come in. So seems likely they'll allow the bomb to go down. That said, the Molotov flying in. Is there time? Indeed, the bomb will get planted, but can the Ts get any kills? They're raining bullets through the smoke. They all get taken down at the very least. Retake is on for Vega Squadron. They've got some M4s on this retake, and Kashanda has a kit. Still at the back. Look how much damage, the damage output of these Tech 9s. The HE sailing in, won't get a kill, but Innocent will. The Tech 9s doing so much damage. Only Hutchie remains. Looks like this Force Fire is going to work out. Hutchie may have to make a run for it. He's still standing his ground, but surely he's got to run away with his rifle.
And that's a brutal round to lose, isn't it, for poor old Vega Squadron. But again, you know, you have to credit Penta from just deciding to go with a round which most teams would go, oh, you know, we just go for a full Glock save, get the AKs in the next round. And Penta decided against this opponent, we just believe in our Tech 9 rush, that with all the nades, we're just gonna get the kills. And it's kind of insane how much damage they did through the smokes as well, just spamming the smokes. It seemed kind of intimidating that round. Either way, we have force buy back here from Vega Squadron, and on the CT side, these force buys can be dangerous. So we'll see if they can get something going. They have a flank coming in as well, up the B slope. They're ready to strike on the flank of Penta. So Penta need to get their skates on or else they'll be in some trouble against the Pistols.
Sunny and HS have made their way through Ivy in the meantime and flanked Vega Squadron, in fact. So that's cleaned out the A site, leaving Mir and Chopper alone. This Force Buy has failed for Vega Squadron, to say the least. Only 1 kill so far. But really, it's not about kills, only about winning the round. Innocent creeping through the halls. He has dropped an AK-47, so at least there's something for Vega Squadron. But it will be Eco Town for them in the next round. They're not going to be winning this one.
An AK saved is always going to be nice. I wonder where that actually leaves the round that we are going to next. I think it's just going to be the AK, and perhaps Chopper will decide to drop his 5.7, maybe buy up another 5.7 or something similar. Get something additional to work with, but they do need to go for a save. Well, Chopper will die in the end of the round. So, indeed, it's going to be pretty much a full save, I would imagine, here for the Vega Squadron side. You can see their money is absolutely crushed. And it is, again, great that you can actually see their money in these shots. Lovely stuff by the production of PGL there. And Penta, you know, they talked about it on the desk. You know, when Penta they seem to always, they're always able to have that good start and really build those rounds together quite quickly. And so this is a sort of a worst case scenario for Vega Squadron that is almost out of their hands at the moment, that Penta Sports have managed to claim fast advantage. But it's a good start into this round to get some damage in Mir with a double.
That leaves USPs for Vega Squadron. The saved weapon has been taken away. Some damage done, which will perhaps play a part in rounds to come, but for now this should be a formality at this point. Penta can protect or dispose of the weapon. I think they've carried it to this position or thrown it. Maybe that hole where you throw grenades into B, that'd be a good place to dispose of that weapon. Kashanda now last man standing. They know he's on the site. And there he goes, 3-1. And it should be buy time for Vega Squadron. They've got money for AWP no armor, but that's about it. Indeed, JR will grab the AWP. $50 shy of Kevlar, so he'll buy Molotov instead, or rather, an incendiary grenade. There's the 2K from Mir. Well then, now it's the meat and potatoes of Train. Both teams on the buy.
We might get a fast one here. Sunny with a quick toss of some grenades, providing quite a bit of pressure into the A side of the map. But his teammates will start to charge towards B. So here comes the push. Chopper is going to fall back quite quickly, and Vega Squadron already reading this have rotated 3 members already in towards the B bomb site. Chopper doesn't have to do too much other than frag here. He'll get 1. Well, actually it's JR to get 2, in fact, with Chopper on the assist as Kashanda gets close up above. Great position here. They did not expect this. Kashanda cleaning out the defense as Crystal tries to extend the push, but everybody is going to die. A very fast round, and I'm sure that Penta didn't expect it to go quite like that.
4 players alive for Vega. Crucial for them. And they pick up 2 AK-47s to boot, which will boost their offense. Penta, they've got cash in the bank, so it will be a big round for both sides now. Close start to Train. And again, the winner of this match will qualify for the major. Will it be the Sharks? Will it be that big number 5? Best of one will dictate the answer. AWPs onto both teams. Everybody with Kevlar for this round. 2 kits on the 5 players of Vega Squadron. Starting out in the 4-1 setup. Chopper alone towards the B bomb site. Not deterred by that quick play from Penta in the previous round.
Yeah, I'm playing quite forward in the yards. There's always going to be a solid setup. You sort of force the T's to throw those Molotovs, which we've been seeing recently, one of which goes just right outside of the pop dog area. Now, as we wait, we can take note of Penta's setup. They also have two members around Ali here, so they can try to build into a triple-pronged attack. Although the setup here is interesting from Vega Squadron. They have, it's almost as though they expect to B. They have an amazing rotation for B if there's a B rush. They've got two players in the B bomb site as well, and only one on the A yard. They've completely given up Ali. It's a huge hole in the defense right now, but it doesn't matter really because there's likely only one player coming from that position, and the aggression there is non-existent so far. Oh wow, they're actually going B as well, so this is perfect for Vega Squadron.
Flashes are in. Chopper and Mir ready to try and buy some time for their team, but Chopper, he can't win the first duel. Not even sure if his gun was ready to fire after throwing that Molotov. Either way, most of the frags going the way of Vega Squadron, Penta, sorry. Mir, only good for one. Innocent with a great flank, pushing through the train yard, and that might be safe territory. Vega Squadron are about to get reset.
Oh dear. It's a weird one, isn't it? Because, again, I mean, to me, it was already kind of nuts because they sort of just read that play immediately. It almost felt like they just knew at the start of the round in Free Sun. They're like, yep, Penta Sports are going to go B this round. Let's have a fast flank setup, having two on Pop Dog. Obviously, you know, if we're wrong, that's just a good setup, just generally anyway. Let's pretty much give up the alley area and pretty much everything else on the A side of the map and play one in connector and two on B. It's like it's like, you know, that the B rush is coming, yet still they got absolutely murdered when the B rush did actually hit the bomb site. So, yeah, very unfortunate for Vega Squadron.
They need an AWP in that position, I think. The way we've seen a number of trains this week, and we've seen it be very effective when an AWPer is just picking Ts as they're crossing in that position. Where they've tried to fight, they've been facing multiple Ts, and honestly, I don't know if his rifle was even ready to fire when he took that duel after throwing the Molotov. 4-2 in favor of Penta. Vega Squadron managed to force fire around what they saved in the previous round, and the duels come in around the smoke. 3 kills for Vega. They're fighting straight back after the difficulty in the previous round. Sunny's made his way through the IB position, but he can't really help the bomb, but he can run distraction. 2k for Sunny. That's certainly going to help. Almost 3, leaving Kishanda on 15 HP.
Yeah, he's done a great amount of work. And Innocent, I mean, they got so much time to just keep their options open, and for Sunny to get into cool positions here and maybe even do more damage still. Innocent obviously getting a pick of his own there. As Sunny's running his way all around the back of the bomb train and up into a high position. That's going to be a really nice position to help out right now if we get a good plant. Chopper coming in from the back though might find a window of opportunity to try and end this round. He's found some opportunity. A fortuitous pickup of a weapon just in the nick of time gets the kill, but the bomb is planted and Sunny's in position. It's planted for him as well. Sunny, will he give away his position immediately? He will, and he will lose the battle. Quick was Chopper. Gets himself the 2k, and the round is won by Vega Squadron.
They already knew he was there. I think maybe, I don't know when exactly they saw him, but
could have had the ladder maybe.
Before they killed the guy planting the bomb, whoever was around main had seen him. But Sunny, I mean, what a way to make the round winnable from that position. Great stuff from him. Couldn't take it over the line, but he did massive damage to Vega Squadron again. Now it's Penta's turn to force, and both teams are broke after their buys. So very tight this game after 7 rounds. A change from Vega Squadron towards the B bomb site. JR will be starting off. He was heading towards upper B with AWP, but he's been smoked off early. That's going to put 3 people in the B bomb site for Vega Squadron. They think there's a push coming in.
Oh my god, that is savage. That grenade did basically max damage to Kishanda. It's like landed on his toes. 45 health for him. And the Tech 9 is ready. Yep, Kishanda not having a fun round. And yeah, the money for Vega absolutely sucks just as it does for Penta. So it's a massive round, and to already get an advantage like that is going to bode quite well for Penta, as they are likely eyeing a set piece execute into the A bomb sites as they now make their way towards the main area.
I feel like Kashanda tried to push up ladder because he thought they were smoke executing, because he heard Crystal. Crystal tried to throw the bomb to his teammate, but it hit the floor. So I think that cue, that sound cue, gave him the idea that he had an opportunity to just go in and wreck them while they were throwing grenades. Didn't work out for him though. But Penta, they've gone to plan B, and now they've got next to no grenades. They come in for a push, just a few flashbangs, but they've got AK-47s. Now they have a 2-man advantage.
Yeah, big entry there. Look rather desperate here for Vega. They may even consider saving, to be honest. Let's see if they can get a quick pick, because getting in against 5 players who've had plenty of time to set up on the A bomb side is never really a good prospect. And indeed, I think this is a good call here. They don't have money to buy in the next round, so might as well enter the next round with an ability to drop a couple UMPs for your teammates, and then perhaps reloads on some grenades. It's going to be a pretty dire situation on the nades. Actually, Hutchie will be able to buy his own Kevlar UMP and nades, so maybe they'll have a decent selection overall, except for maybe 1 player or so. But yeah, another round for Penta Sports. Again, I like it, getting the set piece going straight after they got a pick. Now we'll see what Vega Squadron opt to do. Perhaps they'll decide to get slightly aggressive in some position, perhaps Ali. So far, Penta have not really put much emphasis at all on Ali.
Kashanda with the CZ. Wouldn't be surprised to see him around the ladder position. Or maybe main with a flash. But I think ladder is more likely. That said, he's over towards E-box for the time being. Smoke towards main, and he will be playing around the main smoke. So maybe he gets flashed in by a teammate. Crystal firing off some warning shots in case they have any ideas. But now Kashanda's kind of in no man's land with this CZ. He's not quite in main, he's nowhere near the ladder area. JR seemingly wanted to go for a stroll with the AWP on his own through Ivy. Interesting idea. Wouldn't advise it myself. More grenades coming in. Penta maybe smelling desperation from Vega Squadron. And there we go. Kashanda has made his way into the main position. He can just hold that angle now. I think he's... Yeah, he can hear the grenades being primed. That's why he's facing the wall, just in case they are flashes into main. But they're not. Penta looking to go towards B.
So not many nades left for them now, as they have everybody ready to go for the push. Chopper has an opportunity here, looking for a good timing to try to work with that smoke. The double comes in. It's going to be a helping hand from Crystal that gets one of the kills. And that is Penta on a wipeout. And it does seem like most of the time when they try to walk B like this, they do have issue. Now Sunny, his mission is damage. What damage can he do? Oh, let's have a look. Obviously, this is a reset round here for Penta Sports. This is neck and neck at the moment between these two teams. Neither team can really get a grip onto the match, the economy, anything really. And that's a triple peak JR with the frag. And indeed, the reset round is real. And there's not really a huge amount of work that Penta can do in this round if they do decide to force it up. I don't think that they will, considering that they can save 1 round and be able to buy. So we'll likely see a pretty meager situation as far as the weapons are concerned for Penta, allowing Vega to get some money together in this next round. And one thing I really like is that HE from Penta, where they HE pop dog, because last round they were able to take Hutji down to like 20 health, and the round previous it hit Kashanda straight on as well, and he was standing in the same position, and he went down to 45 health from max with Kevlar. So that's a good nade, a good HE to copy, considering it is a very common spot where CTs will stand.
I do wonder if that's specific for Vega Squadron as well, if they commonly have somebody in that position. So Penta have indeed chosen to force it up. But even if they were to win, I think Vega Squadron will probably eke out a bye, considering they lost nothing and gained weapons in that previous round. Again, Kashanda starting with a CZ, and now he's on an M4 with his teammates on an AK. So it looks like Mir's been thrown the AK. 1 minute 30 for Penta. Slow start. Again, Vega Squadron in very forward positions towards A. They've been very consistent with that. JR left alone at Ivy, and Chopper towards B. starting to move back somewhat. Vega Squadron have used a lot of grenades, however. A minute 10 on the clock, and they still have 2 Molotovs in the smoke, in fairness. Penta getting some initial grenades out, and that will expend the Molotovs of Vega. So Vega now with little to defend with.
It's kind of nuts, actually, that neither team can win a consecutive round. That's 5 rounds we've played so far with no team winning consecutively. And, ooh, that's a nice pick, but the return is immediate from Mir. And HS will get himself down into the bomb side as well with a quick kill onto Mir. So we've got a 3 versus 4 situation for Vega to try to go for retaking. And again, they've got to consider, all right, guys, our economy sucks. Do we go for a save in this position? How do we play this? They can't get through the choke points, and that's the main problem. You don't really have good enough engagements to have like a decent percentage chance, let's say, in actually being successful in your attack. So they will opt for the save with 2 players, and these 2 players must survive for them to have a full buy in the following round. But looks like it continues. It's another round where we get no consecutive win. It's the only consecutive rounds we had won were right in the first 4 rounds after the second force buy was won by Penta Sports. So it's the game of the forces at the moment. But which force will be stronger? The force of Penta Sports or Vega Squadron? As once again we have another interesting round ahead of us.
I would be interested in seeing the AWP go towards B. I mentioned it earlier, but I mean, yes, they have defended B on some rounds, but that's where Penta Sports are running through a smoke. But yeah, okay, so here we go. So we've got JR. He's going aggressive with the AWP as well, and there's going to be 4 towards the A site. A fast round from Penta, but he's gone straight into the stack from the CT. It's the usual stack. Bombs down. There are smokes all over the place. It is mayhem. This really could go either way.
Yeah, it's all about playing around these smokes, finding these angles, trying to wrap the defense and destabilize them. But Kishanda's in a really forward position here. He himself trying to wrap those T's, not going too well though. It's going to come down to JR and his clutch abilities as he looks for the first shot. He got a tag there, but he will get dropped by Innocent quite fast there. And that will be a violent round from the likes of Penta Sports, and they've broken the curse. They are the winners of the Force Battle with that consecutive round win, and you can see how crushing it is to Vega Squadron. They have nothing, and they will purchase nothing in this round. So 7-4 in favor of Penta Sports. Roller coaster ride this game so far between these 2 teams.
Yeah, ideally I'd like to see the AWP not necessarily go super aggressive at the beginning of the round towards B, but pick off T's while they're moving onto the bomb train and stop them from moving to the back of the B bomb site, because when that has happened, for the most part, Vega have been losing the duels. Mir with 2 deagle shots. It's given him a fighting chance to win another. Well, it's not a force buy, but a surprising round, if you will. And now things return to some semblance of normalcy. Double nades, 2 finishings off. Nice. Nice way to just put them out of their misery there. Straight back on the buy, though, are Vega Squadron. Hutji dropping the AWP for JR. Grenades will be lacking for the team. Kishanda has a decision to make, and he's chosen an M4 and a smoke grenade instead of UMP and a lot more grenades for his side. That is quite curious. See if it pays off for them. So again, JR is headed towards the B bomb site. I think he's going to be holding an angle on the lower ramp, which is a nice change. I think this is needed. They continue with 4. Ironically, now JR's lower ramp, there are 3 people towards Ivy.
And this is something we haven't really seen quite yet from Penta on their T side. Not really in the previous rounds pressuring Ali at all. And Vega Squadron, you know, feeling that presence, have more players there, but Sunny's been allowed to creep out in from team main through Olafmeister into these fragging scenarios, and now it's all kicking off here as the CT defense gets pressed, the chaos begins, Penta Sports start to move, and they get more and more damage here. Another kill coming in from Crystal. Now JR has to clutch against 3. This is going to be a rough one. Oh, that's not a shot you can miss there for JR.
They're losing a lot of duels, Vega Squadron. I think it was Crystal who was pulling out the M4 while he was being shot at and still managed to win that duel. I thought Sunny would try to go for a multi-frag in that situation. He seemed to get past the defenses, but either way, it works out for Penta. 2 rounds remain in this half. After quite the back and forth, Penta are pulling away with a lead. Pistols out again for Vega Squadron. 4 Deagles, CZ for Kashanda. They will be at maximum loss bonus following an expected conclusion to this round. So far so good. Sunny delivering 2 kills, but here come the Deagles.
Oh dear. A couple players dying there. That's not going to be too fun for Penta. Kashanda has acquired an AK-47. He has Kevlar as well, and he's looking to try and clutch this one. The bomb is very close to him, so he does have time to work with despite not having a kit in this position. The Molotov as well that he's collected could be quite the asset moving forwards into this clutch. Oh, and there it is. Gets caught in the back by HS. And that will be 10 rounds then for Penta, and a mere 4 for Vega Squadron. And that's a sad tale for Vega Squadron, considering how close this first half has been. I feel like this scoreline doesn't really tell the tale. You could be tricked into thinking that Penta have been incredibly dominant here, perhaps, but it's not really been the case. Vega have had a lot of very, very close rounds and scenarios. Oh.
Last round of the first half. On the buy once again are the CTs, and it's business as usual for Penta, heading towards the B bomb site. Mir up close, but again losing the jewel. There goes Chopper as well. So yeah, it is business as usual because this has happened a lot towards the B bomb site. Vega Squadron coming in for the rotation. JR's at the back of the site, and that's the way you want him, the way this has been going, but he's not getting the kills. 2 opportunities, both missed, and this is surely a round for Penta now.
Yeah, that's one of those spots, isn't it, where you're thinking, those are kills that you have to get. That might be the only opportunity, but perhaps Hutchie's here to bail everybody out. Looking to open things up even further now as he picks up that frag. Second player challenging, and he cannot sustain. Now we've got 11 rounds for Penta in this first half and 4 for Vega Squadron. That is a very rough situation for Vega Squadron. Going into that T side, all the pressure's on to pick up the pistol round. And if you don't pick it up, it feels as though Penta are almost, well, basically there. They are so close to qualifying for a major. And with the once again, with the performance that they've had so far at these qualifiers, it's no surprise. It would be no surprise to see them as one of the 16 teams.
Yeah, Penta looking much stronger than Vega Squadron in this game at the moment. The players on the B bomb site were getting straight bullied by Penta in a number of rounds, but maybe JR and Co can turn things around. Looking for opportunities towards the A site. The flash comes in, but there's no kill. This is dangerous waters for both teams, and it will be the CTs winning that duel. But 2 of them spotted an Ivy. Can Vega capitalize? Doesn't seem so. More headshots coming in from these USPs.
Mir trying to work his magic with it. Eagle gets 1 second, perhaps, but no. Denied ultimately, at least left to Kashanda. 2 players of the 3 are very weak, however, so maybe there's opportunity as Kashanda looks for his first shot, and that's the healthy player. Sunny tagged down, but Kashanda eventually will run out of hit points, and that's going to be the round for Penta, opening it up with a double push on that alley position, and it worked out quite well for them. So the worst has happened. Vega Squadron, they have to win this for Spy, they really do. 3 Deagles, and so what I think here as well is that imagine if instead of those 3 Deagles, you get, or 4 Deagles, you get
a grenade,
like 1 smoke grenade. So you have like 2 or 3 smoke grenades here. I mean, and a flashbang on someone. How about that, James? Because how do you get in? How do you get in? Because with the Deagles, the whole point about the Deagle is that you take a position, and you can start doing maybe some shoulder peeking, but you can't really run and gun with it. You need to get into a position, basically. How do you get into a position if you're just limited to these choke points?
I wonder if there is any plan in this round other than buy Deagles, try and get some headshots, because this is a chance to qualify. Chance to go to the major. Chance to see if you're a shark in that big pond. Or ocean, rather. Don't get many sharks in ponds.
Well, it seems to be working out for them, James. 2 players left here for Penta. They have a couple of, well, yeah, FAMASs, and Not really all that much in the way of grenades here. No helmets on these two players from Vega Squadron, which might be an issue. We'll see. Now, this is a bit really scary, to be honest, for Penta. They cannot afford to allow this round to get out of hand and go to Vega Squadron.
It's definitely out of hand. There's that much.
I suppose.
That much going on. Somehow, Vega Squadron haven't managed to pick up anything in this round, despite killing 3 people, but perhaps it doesn't matter. We shall see. They're all moving around the map like a very slow clock.
It's quite funny if you consider that if you go back 20 seconds, this is exactly where the 2 CTs were 20 seconds ago. So they have just encircled one another. Good position on Chopper though, and a crossfire setup. And look at all the distraction. Chopper, he should be able to get probably both kills here. In fact, he has 2. Oh, that's close, but not close enough. The defuse comes in, but they got 4 kills and a bomb plant. And right now, this feels bad for Penta because Vega Squadron are in a position where they should most probably just go all in. They got a bomb down, they got 4 kills. If they win this next round where Penta aren't going to have a lot of equipment or the best equipment, or if they have like good guns, they won't have a lot of grenades, then they're going to reset Penta and they'll have a really good chance to string a bunch of rounds together.
And indeed, they have gone all in with this buy. They could have dropped an AK to someone. JR has spent $2,600 and he's got money left in the bank. He could have dropped an AK, but they've gone for a UMP and 4 Tech 9s. And this time they do have grenades, as well as some Molotovs. So perhaps they can get into those close quarters with these Tech 9s and then spam away like they're trying to sell pills. Of what kind? I'll leave you to decide. There we go. There are the smokes on the site, but the spray is coming in. The garden hose will weed out the weak.
Well, what are we left with here? The bomb is yet to be planted, but they're making that effort now. We've got Famus up on the trains from Crystal. Good vantage point, and he'll be able to cover the bomb plant. So not looking too good here for Vega Squadron after all. Just down to Mir, and he's only got a Tech 9 at this point. If he had an AK or an AWP, maybe you'd think that there's a chance, but he will get taken down as he's double peaked by the CTs. And the round had a lot of promise for Vega Squadron, but unfortunately for them, it did not come to fruition.
Penta are all over this match. Like white on Rice Dan. Brown Rice excluded, of course. 14-4. Dominating performance so far. And it's hard to see a way for Penta to lose this match at the moment. All the doors closed for Vega Squadron. And again, just forcing every round at this point. We're going to see a peek at upper B, it seems, from the CT side. Sunny biding his time. He's there. He's not alone, actually. No flash. Zen's with him. No flash. Maybe no flash required. They will trade, however. Kashanda taking one. No bomb spotted for Penta. No rotation. In fact, they'll leave 3 people towards A. I think there was a rotation towards Connector from 1 man, but as there was no push from Vega, they think it's A.
Looking like this could indeed work out for Penta. I like the setup that they have at the moment. They can very effectively cover for each other. But be careful here, though, because that is a problem. Lining up for Chopper. And now we've got Mir going for the push. He knew exactly where Crystal was standing, and all of a sudden it's down to a 2 versus 3 here for Penta, trying to defend the bomb train. Zen with the flank, though, back into Ali. The bomb is down, and all of a sudden it's just Kashanda. And not for too long. Another round for Penta. They're 1 away from securing their place at the PGL Major in Krakow.
There are the drums. Vega Squadron, they'll be hearing those drums every single round that they survive, and you see those are not faces of confidence on the Vega Squadron team. This has been quite the spanking so far, and perhaps they will be left with a sore ass in this round as Penta are well equipped for this one. The Deagles are out, though. They almost took it over the line in a previous round of Deagles, however, they didn't. Ultimately, they failed, and they may ultimately fail in this round as well, because the odds are not looking good there.
They are not looking good, especially now that Penta have the first frag in the round. They've drawn first blood. And Vega are really spread out at the moment. Hutchie just going for a play by E-Box. And this is kind of a horrible situation for Hutchie, actually, because if Penta were playing closer to that position, okay, sure, it'd be great, but he's going to have to make the play. He's going to have to push forwards. It's going to be a more difficult situation. He goes for the engagement. Kashanda and Hutchie picking up 2 kills. There's a chance now.
Will they expect Sonny in the connector? His teammate goes down. I think he might have seen somebody go past, looking for more info. Might see the barrel of the gun. Can't quite get the kill, but it'll stop the plant for the time being. Can't do more than that, however. Headshots being delivered. Vega Squadron, their backs are to the wall. But they have won a round. They've won a round. Their only round so far. And they must win in this half, that is. And they must win all the rest.
Yep, just 10 rounds in a row. That's no problem there. So you guys can see, or if you were quick on the overlay there, and well, you can now as well, that there's 3 HEs. Here's Zen, Crystal, and HS picking up 8 grenades. High explosive apiece. Let's have a look and see what happens with those. Always fun. And we get the CTs basically all rushing in towards the, the slope position. And quick frag made by Innocence as everybody sprayed down. That's how we like these rounds. Nice.
Nice.
And quick. And crisp. So, the save round is over. Still another one is to be had by Penta. Perhaps we'll see something similar. In fact, yes, we will. We've got this time. I don't know why HS is buying Kevlar, though. But, well, I suppose...
Why not just have less money?
Them.
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, if you have already 15 rounds, it kind of like doesn't matter. Like pressuring the opponent's economy doesn't matter. Like you just want to play for as much money as possible, so that you have the best buy round possible, or the most amount of buy rounds possible in the remaining rounds that are in this half. And I love how they are just going for mad pushes, because it is just a situation where it's like, guys, let's just get this round over with quickly, get ourselves on the bye, and just win the match.
Mir lurking in the showers. An ominous scene. HS with his Kevlar remains around the corner, and didn't get him very far on this occasion. So Innocent with the 5-7, trying to take some guns away from the T side, and he's not going to get much done there either. So HS, he will have $4,500 in this round.
If they're lacking grenades, I mean, come on.
He is lacking grenades.
You don't need to be lacking grenades right now. It's just so annoying, isn't it?
Yeah, he's got $0. He could have a Molotov.
And they look lacking kits as well, and there's only 1 kit.
He could have a Molotov, or he could have a defuse kit. And instead, he chose to buy Kevlar on a non-round.
I mean, I think also, even for me, the HE buys are really questionable, because, again, this just doesn't matter, to be honest. Either way, decisions have been made, and we are where we are. And that is on round 23, a almost full buy from Penta. Not the full buy, but pretty much there, all the important parts. And Vega Squadron there setting themselves up for some picks here towards the B-bomb site.
Zen is very alone. Chopper holding down the ladder position. You can see Sonny's in position to potentially flank, but Chopper may not allow that to happen. Ooh, hello. He could even be selling a fake. Indeed, Crystal's rotating out of the B-bomb site, but so are the Ts. And there is Crystal to stop them. So what do Vega Squadron do in this situation? Innocent, top of the train, and Vega Squadron are going back towards the B-bomb site. Opportunities have come and gone for Vega Squadron.
Yeah, it's one of those spots, isn't it, where you get a little bit frustrated that you made that call to go back, because we got damage in from Crystal, a nice double. 2 very, very strong shots there from him as the bomb goes down and Crystal creeps ever closer. USP out, but JR's fast, leaving it down to Innocent. But again, JR quick, and he will secure the round for the team. And that could very well have gone wrong. It's like, it's one of those situations where your teammate, you don't expect him to get 2 kills on the A side, so then when that happens, you're like, huh, should we go to the A side? Yeah, why, yes, I think we will. Oh no, there's an AWP there.
Yeah, great play by Chopper. I mean, you know, you either expect the rotation and go B, or you just charge into A and let him lead that charge. So we've got action here. JR has killed a man, and those nades have put in some work. But again, this is an eco round from Penta Sports, so It should look good for Vega, but they've lost the bomb now. And Crystal's... Oh my god!
What?
He didn't get the kill, but...
Not like this!
Oh.
Not like this!
Oh.
HS, man, taking chunks.
I don't know what just happened.
Oh dear. Penta Sports, we welcome you to the PGL Major. Well, congratulations. It's I'm excited to see them, James. They've made it.
They have. Congratulations to Penta. They looked absolutely dominant in that match, despite the back and forth in the beginning of the match. I didn't even register what happened in that last round. I had no idea. I saw the knife and my brain just exploded. 16-8, double the score of Vega Squadron, who looked simply outclassed. Yeah,
they really did. I don't know if it's too early in the morning for them. They are a team that maybe it takes them some warm up to really get going, whatever it is. But either way, the result I think is the expected one. I think it's. I think Penta definitely deserve it. That's for sure. They are looking really good going forwards. And again, it's just a team that I'm just excited to see more from, because they make good choices, generally speaking, as a team, as a unit. They have cool rounds. I mean, they showed us, like we had the Battle of 4 Spies right at the start. They showed us that, you know what, actually, we got the bomb down, even though we lost the pistol. Actually, we're going to run a set-piece execution with Tech 9s, with the nades as well, instead of just going with AKs in the following round and maybe having less nades. And I really like it when teams do that, because just showing that they have a clear plan is just always fun to watch.
Yeah, I really hope that on Sunny's sticker, he draws a little sun with like a dirt face on it. Because that's I mean, you have to do that, man. You have to draw a sun.
Oh yeah, perhaps they have to start thinking about that.
Like, maybe if you want to sell stickers, you've got to get your sun game on. You can't just be writing, my name's Sunny, Got to get the sun. That's true. Got to get your MS. It's got to be like a crappy MS Paint sun.
Yeah, like Cutler's one with the little scissors. That's pretty legit. But yeah. I do believe the analysts are ready. So back to you, lads, over at the desk.
Thank you, James and Dan. We'll return, of course, to them for the second match after the break. But let's break it down. It is Penta Sports that take the place in the major. They were great at the European minor. They've been brilliant throughout the offline qualifier as well, and thoroughly deserve their place. Jason, I don't think there's any argument on that, is there?
No, not at all. That was, I mean, actually, it felt like they started a little bit slow to me. Yeah. I was coming to Yanko, like, something doesn't feel right with, like, Sunny, all these guys. I mean, there was, I think, like 6 or 7 rounds in, it was like Sunny, HS, and Innocent were, like, the lowest ADR of the team. It was Crystal and Zen who were leading the way, which is kind of the opposite of how it's supposed to be. But really, this first half for me was like missed opportunities by Vega Squadron. Yeah. Winning pistol, losing the following round, winning the first gun round, and then getting ecoed, and then winning the next round and losing again. I mean, they never strung them together. There was a lot of economic resets by Penta on their T side, which was great. But it felt like Vega had this style of red. It felt like whenever Penta was going towards the inner bomb side, like this round was great. Look how stacked it is on the minimap. So many players for Vega Squadron here. They always kind of had that sense that at some point during the round, Penta was going to go back towards that B bomb side, because that's how we've seen them play train many, many times. Just for whatever reason, I mean, losing two 4 spies in that half isn't going to help anything. And at some points, it just seemed like Penta was able to just turn the round on its head despite the overwhelming odds.
Yeah, I mean, they kept it close, didn't they, to start with? Yanko was 5-4, and you sort of think, okay, that's not too bad. I mean, okay, Penta on the T side, so every round is a bonus for them now. But still, they kept it close, and then all of a sudden it just fell apart.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, first on early on with the 4 spies, going back and forth, teams winning and losing rounds, and I agree with Jason 100%. It seemed like Vega had the correct calls, the correct reads, but the execution just wasn't there. They had players waiting for Penta to execute, and still they couldn't get the kill. Someone was maybe overextending a little bit. That would give Penta ground, allow them to move forward, get the bomb down, and at that point they would just let the round slip away from their hands.
In terms of the performances, obviously you mentioned, Jason, that the top 3 that we were expecting to have, the top 3 didn't have a good early game, but certainly came good throughout the end. HS just absolutely blown them away at the end. 25 for 16, 97.7 ADR, MVP for the game.
Yeah, and like that's the thing. Like, he wasn't even there for like the first 6 or 7 rounds. So yeah, he closed it out very nicely, didn't he? I thought Crystal did a great job of keeping them in this game. I mean, he was the one early on that was kind of helping out, and we've seen him have a couple rough games here or there. So it's good to see him step up in that kind of a situation. But certainly HS. I mean, that last round you could just see once they kind of got clicked on. Like, I hate the narrative that it's just early morning, and like we had it with Liquid because they came in and just didn't show up for Penta in the first game of the day. Here again, I mean, it might just be that because it felt like for 6 rounds they were still a little bit groggy, and then they just woke up.
Yeah, could well be. I mean, Vega had the same thing on day one when they came in. They started really strong, 10-5 first half, just capitulated on the second half. So who knows whether these early mornings make any difference to the players or not. Vega obviously still in. They're 2-2 now. They go into the last game later today. Have they got a realistic shot of getting through, or does it very much depend on who they get?
I think they're going to be one of the underdogs, and maybe with a lucky draw, but the problem is you can see how they're making these fundamental mistakes, right? Even when they're in a favorable position in the middle of a round in an advantageous situation, they still can't basically take advantage of that. You know, they still end up losing the round, and when that happens, then what's going to happen when they are not in an advantageous position, where they can't get the good reads as they did against Penta? You're just worried that this was maybe their best chance to make it through.
And there are troubles in there, Jason, as well, and that even when they did read them, didn't have the firepower to do anything about it.
Well, it seemed like there was maybe like a couple small like mental lapses. Like I know Chopper at that inner bomb side, like you could tell they knew that it was coming. You could tell they were reading it very well. And there was one round where Chopper just got completely caught off guard by the aggressiveness down that lower ramp and gets caught with like an awkward nade timing and just couldn't get into any kind of position to defend against it. And it might also be something where they were successful like stopping some of those B hits earlier on in the half. And like they're probably thinking like, surely, you know, we stopped it. Penta's not going to come back at it, and then Penta comes right back into B executed. And then the next round, it's like, surely they won't do it a third time. Like, surely they will not be coming back to B this entire half. And it just kept coming. It was like the brick wall, banging your head against it repeatedly, and eventually it just kind of crumbled.
Yeah. Let's bring in a presumably very happy man from Finland right now. Sonny from Penta is in the player area, joins us now. Congratulations, Sonny. A place in the major is yours. You must be thrilled.
Yeah, I'm really happy.
I love it. I like I'm a very big Formula 1 fan, obviously a big Kimi Räikkönen fan. Never ceases to amaze me how little emotion Finns show, even when they're really happy. So I'm at least pleased to see a mild smile on your face.
Yeah, I smiled when I cuddled it just after the game.
Okay, so that's 2 this year then.
Yeah, that's enough for today.
Talk to us about the way that you've gone through this and your journey from qualifiers and online and all the rest of it, because it's been a few months in coming now. You've been building up to this moment to finally arrive to get through, but it's been a lot of work, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has been. Actually, many teams don't know even how much we practiced. For example, we had 8 or 9 days bootcamp before minor, and we played like 10 to 12 hours every day and prepared for like everything. So yeah, we played a lot, and we are so happy as a team because we built this team from nothing, and here we are in the major.
Must feel really good to you personally as well, having sort of left Finland and moved into this multinational lineup. You've taken a bit of a risk to do so, and it's really paid off.
Yeah, it has paid off, and I'm happy. I'm just happy.
It's great. Got a couple of guys alongside us. I'm sure they've got some more deeper questions about the matches and so on.
Yeah, I was fortunate to cast you guys at the Mountain Dew League finals that you won, and it was a similar kind of style. It was a lot of that grouped up. It's not really the spread out map control that we're used to seeing out of some teams. It's kind of like a grouped up and go execute onto a bomb site. Is there any worry that that's going to get read and figured out eventually? Is there any like plans to kind of throw some wrinkles and change some things up for the major?
Yeah, of course, and actually, like we created this game plan only for these events because like we simply didn't have enough time to like grind all the details with our team, and we tried many different styles. For example, same kind of style like what Big is playing, but it just doesn't fit us yet because like it takes some time when we like get in the same page, so to speak, because we all come from different countries, and obviously every player has grown like on his own way, because for example Polish CS is much different than Finnish, and they like, how to say, for example, if I'm supporting Pavel Innocent, I don't know like what he exactly wants, and the same goes like around, so we just try to like get all the power out from our lineup for these events, and we figured out that this is the best way to keep it really simple and like put some pressure other side of the map and just go as a unit, for example. So it's just a game plan only for minor and this qualifier.
How much does having Nasu behind you, a very experienced guy, and obviously has played at the biggest tournaments and won some titles as well, how much input does he have first, and how much does it help to have someone like him as your coach?
I think like it's super hard to be coach because you need to get used to players and like realize what they actually need, because some guys just need some cuddles and some guys actually need like advising and shit. But I think it helps us a lot because like all of our players is looking up to him. Like he has been there and he knows what it like takes. So it's like how he, for example, prepares the game plans for us in the matches. It's like I don't want to go into details, but it helps a lot.
We've had a couple games during this event where we've kind of toyed with the where we've seen, you know, the opening game of the day, these early morning games, like you guys against Liquid, where it just seemed like Liquid came out flat and couldn't win any fights. You know, today it seemed to me like some of you guys on Penta came in and then were a little bit groggy for the first 5 or 6 rounds, or you know, something wasn't right. Is there any like truth to that as a player when you come in at these early morning games, you know, at 10 a.m., still maybe not feeling fully awake?
Well, I think the morning games are not like good for anyone, because if you're a gamer, you're basically never like up at mornings, because
Fair play.
because most of the scrims are played at evening, for example.
Yeah.
So it's like, and if I know that for some players it takes 3 or 4 hours to like get up for the day, and if they don't like fix their rhythm before the events and they have to play at morning, it's like total mess. Been there and done that. So I'm not fan of them, but I guess if you know the schedule, you have to prepare yourself as player for that.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff. And a final congratulations from me and from all the team here on making the major. We'll see you there. One final question for you. Are you a cuddles guy or an advising shit guy?
Advising shit guy.
Okay, all right. Just so I know for future reference. Thank you very much, Sonny, and congrats.
Thanks,
Pass that
Sonny.
congrats to your team.
Thank you.
Penta Sports are through to the major. Fantastic achievement from them. They have been at the major as an organisation before, but I don't think they've had quite the firepower they've got in their team right now. I'm sure they're going to go and cause some surprises once they get there. It's interesting as well, Jason, that you picked up on the point that they had this game plan and it might work here, but it won't necessarily work at the major. They're already thinking about that.
Yeah, and
it's a good sign, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think it's actually even a really good sign that they said, you know what, we don't have the time to necessarily add everything. Let's just take it step by step, because that's from the outside as like a viewer. Sometimes you get this feeling that these teams are supposed to be figured out, like as soon as this lineup, it's like all of a sudden if they don't have everything figured out, the proper way to do it is go in steps, because if you do too much too quick, you're going to do something improperly. You're not going to build up to that in the right way, and you're going to have some kind of a mistake. It's going to look really shoddily put together. So the fact that they're, you know, getting something down that they're successful with fundamentally, and as they get more and more comfortable with that, they can start adding in wrinkles as they get more and more time and build up to that. So yeah, even at the major, it won't be a finished product, right? We're not going to see all of a sudden them come and bust out some crazy tactical map control play style, but hopefully you see a couple elements work their way into the lineup.
How far can they go? Is it too unrealistic to expect that they might get out of the groups at the major?
I don't think. I think it's highly unlikely. But with the system, again, Swiss best of ones, you can play a limited number of maps. So they can focus on perhaps 4 maps, more or 5 if they want, and add those elements to those maps, and then widen their game. We can see that they really can come out all guns blazing. That the individuals can be on point for them. So there is potential. I'm sure that they're going to get a couple of wins that are going to mess someone else's day, if not make their own.
They've definitely done us proud from the European minors point of view. The qualifiers, of course, many people said may not see very many qualifiers, if any, get through to the major. They were absolutely wrong. Penta become the first qualification team to get through to the major itself. Next up, we're going to turn our attention to the teams who are in trouble. It's either win or go home right now for the teams on 1 and 2. Next up, 2 teams who are in all sorts of bother. It's Tyloo versus Hellraisers coming next.
Coming up next,